The low winds drift across the open fields tonight, moving slow, moving patient, as though they too are searching for something. A promise rising softly over the far-off hills. I walk with my hands in my coat, breath puffing out like pale ghosts, listening to hush of winter grass, bending to the quiet rhythm of the passing breeze. There is something different in the air, a pulse beneath the cold, a warmth that shouldn't be here, not in this season of bare branches and tired clouds trailing across the moon. It feels like the earth is waiting, leaning forward on its knees, ready to witness a miracle approaching on silent feet. The winds carry stories, they always have, old tales of wanderers, prophets, shepherds of people who followed a whisper in the night and found more than they ever expected. Tonight the breeze hums with that same old softness, that expectation stitched into the fabric of creation, as if the world itself remembers when hope was carried in the womb of a humble girl, journeying along a dusty road. I imagine her riding slowly, her hands resting on the curve of new life, her face reflecting both fear and wonder, a quiet bravery shaped by a destiny she did not choose, yet willingly embraced. Beside her walks a man with weary steps, guiding the way through crowded paths, and echoing voices calling out in every direction. But he keeps his eyes steady, keeps his heart rooted in trust, for he knows this night is not ordinary. The wind shifts, brushing against my cheeks with gentle fingers of cold air, reminding me that journeys are rarely easy, they are stitched with uncertainty, with nights that stretch too long and roads that feel unending. Yet somewhere beyond the exhaustion, beyond the questions and unanswered prayers, a stable waits in a small corner of the world, quiet as a held breath. I walk further, feeling the wind nudging me along like a guide made of invisible hands. The sky above spreads wide like an ocean, the stars floating like ships made of fire. And one star brighter than the rest hangs with purpose, its glow piercing through the layers of night, as though pointing toward a secret unfolding. The low winds carry its shimmer, sending tiny ripples of light over the hills, over the rooftops, over every heart willing to see. And I think of shepherds startled awake by a blaze of glory that split the dark open, revealing voices made of pure radiance, singing news that made the world tremble with sudden joy. The winds bring this memory to me, even though I wasn't there, as if time itself bends to let every soul taste the wonder of that sacred moment. The breeze breeze wraps around me, lifting my hair, brushing my shoulders, carrying hints of hay and wood smoke like echoes from Bethlehem long ago. The journey continues in my mind, the couple reaching the town too crowded, doors shutting, voices apologizing, the world unaware of how close salvation had come. Yet the smallest place, the quietest corner, became the cradle of glory, where hope arrived not in royal robes, but in soft skin and newborn cries. As I step into a clearing where the wind settles its breath, lingering over the frost-tipped grass, it feels like a pause in time, a moment suspended, where heaven leans close to earth and waits for me to listen, and I do. I listen past the night sounds, past the rustle of my coat, past the beating of my own heart. In the stillness, I hear the echo of that newborn cry, not loud, not grand, but steady, warm, the kind of voice that breaks chains without raising its tone. It is the sound of hope wrapped in humility, the sound of love choosing to come close. The wind swirls once more, lifting leaves into a brief spiral before settling them gently back on the ground. It feels like a reminder that even the smallest stirrings of light can shift the whole landscape of the soul. And as I breathe in the cold night air, I feel something settling inside me, like a seed taking root, like a lantern being lit. The night folds softly round the quiet hills, a blanket stitched with shadows and silver, and every path I walk feels touched by a calm I cannot name. The world seems to be holding its breath, waiting for a whisper of wonder to break through the stillness. And somewhere beyond these fields, a stable glows faintly in the dark, as though light itself has found a place to rest. I close my eyes as I walk, letting the cold air sting my lungs, and the scent of winter carry me forward. There's something different tonight, a pulse beneath the silence, a hum too low for the ear, but clear to the soul. It feels like every living thing is leaning toward a single moment, drawn by a promise older than time. I picture the stable before I reach it, a simple place forgotten by the world. Its wooden beams tired, its floor laid with straw and dust, the kind of shelter no one chooses unless there is nowhere else to go. yet tonight it is chosen by the one who shapes mountains, the one who breathes galaxies into being, the one who now rests in a feeding throat with the softness of a newborn. The breeze shifts, a gentle breath brushing my skin, as if guiding me closer. I imagine Mary there, her face washed in warm lamplight, eyes heavy but shining with a tenderness deeper than words. She cradles the child against her chest, her heartbeat syncing with his, a melody woven of courage and surrender. Joseph keeps watch by her side, a quiet guardian shaped by trust. His hands are rough from labor, yet gentle as he adjusts the blankets around the tiny miracle resting before him. He does not speak much, he doesn't need to. His presence alone is steady as a rooted tree, firm enough to shelter his fragile new family from the cold uncertainty swirling outside. The stable breeze with light, I feel it before I see it, but a warmth slips through the wooden slats, dancing across the dirt, curling through the night like a whisper of dawn bent in the shape of a flame. It reaches me even from afar, touching the corners of my soul that have longed for something I could never quite name. As I draw near, the air grows softer, as though the wind itself bows down to the tiny heartbeat echoing from within. The animals are still, their breath rising in small clouds, their eyes reflecting a knowing calm. They stand close, almost reverent, as though they understand that creation is meeting its creator in a cradle of straw. The glow inside deepens, not bright, not blinding, but warm, gentle, like the first flame lit after a long night. I step through the open doorway, my boots crunching softly on the floor, and the moment I cross the threshold, everything inside me shifts. The world outside fades into silence, and all I can feel is the tender quiet of holiness. The child rests peacefully, his tiny hands curled near his face, his breath steady with me like the promise of morning. He is small, so small, yet the air trembles around him as though heaven is pulsing in time with every rise and fall of his chest. Light seems to cling to him, gentle as dawn, soft as mercy. I stand still, unsure whether to kneel or simply breathe. Every part of me feels exposed, as though the kindness in the room is unveiling every hidden place within my heart. But instead of shame, I feel warmth, a love so vast yet so close that it wraps itself around my weary bones. The stable breeze with light tonight, each flicker whispering a truth I have spent years aching for, that hope can be born in the smallest, humblest spaces, that glory can choose simplicity that love can arrive quietly and still reshape the world. I linger in the doorway, letting the glow soak into me like water into dry earth. The wind hushes outside, the stars lean low, and for a moment I believe that everything broken can be made whole again. Because in this small stable, beneath the hush of a winter sky, light has chosen to breathe, and nothing I leave in the cold. The fields are still tonight, stretched wide beneath the quiet sky. The kind of silence that feels deliberate, as though the earth itself is waiting for a sound worth holding. I walk slowly through the cool dark, wrapped in a cloak of wandering thoughts, when suddenly the air shifts just slightly, like the inhale before a whispered truth. A tremor of light touches the horizon, small at first, like a star flickering uncertainly, but then it grows, stretching thin threads of gold across the sleeping hills. The sheep around me stir their wool, catching the pale glow, and I feel the hairs on my arms rise, with the sense that something holy is brushing against the night. We shepherds are used to silence, used to long hours with nothing but wind and wool to keep us company. But tonight the quiet feels alive, vibrating with a music I can't yet hear, but feel beneath my ribs. The sky seems fuller somehow, as though every star has stepped closer. Then it happens, the light folds open like a blooming flower, bright but not blinding, warm but not consuming. A figure stands within it, shimmering with a peace that settles deep into the chest before the mind can catch up. My knees shake, my heart stumbles in its rhythm, my breath falters between fear and wonder. He speaks, not loud, not forceful, but with the softness of water, tracing its way along a riverbed. Do not fear, the words move through me like a steady flame, calming the parts of me that didn't know they were trembling. He speaks of joy, of a child born tonight, wrapped in cloth, resting in a manger, the sign we have been unknowingly waiting for. Around him, the light expands, unfurling like dawn. In every direction, more figures rise from the glow. Voices layered like wind through tall grass, harmonies woven with threads of pure sky. They sing with a beauty that breaks something open inside me, a melody that feels like home and hope, and an ache I've never learned to name. The song pours pours over the hills, cascading like a river of radiance, and the night responds. Every stone, every blade of grass, every sleeping creature seems to breathe in time with it. It's as though the world is lifting its face, letting the heavens lean down to place a promise gently upon its forehead. I do not understand the song, not with the mind, but with the marrow. Each note settles deep, taking root like seeds in fertile soil. It speaks of peace, not the fragile kind we chase, but the kind that comes when love bends low enough to sit among us as one of us. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the song shifts, the last chord lingering like the red glow of sunset before the darkness claims the horizon again. The light folds inward, the sky softens, and the night exhales. The angels rise like sparks, carried upward by an unseen wind, until they vanish into the blanket of stars. For a moment, none of us speak. The sheep are still, the wind is hushed, the world holds its breath. I feel changed, as though my heart is softer, wider, capable of holding things too delicate to name. Then someone beside me whispers, we need to go, and the words spark something within us, a steady flame fueled by wonder. We gather our cloaks, our staffs, our trembling courage, and we run, not out of fear, but out of longing, out of the deep pool that tells us the truth has arrived and waits to be seen. Blur beneath our feet as we follow the path that feels laid out by starlight itself. And as we run, the sky above us feels closer, as though the heavens are leaning down to listen to the quiet chorus of our footsteps. A handful of shepherds chasing after a miracle that chose to be found. Tonight, the world is different. I feel it in every breath. The promise is taking shape, swaddled in cloth, resting in straw, waiting in a humble place for hearts. The night was cool, edged with the quiet breath of distant hills, when word reached the small town of travelers and wanderers that something extraordinary had unfolded among them. Some heard it from shepherds breathless with wonder, others from whispers that slipped through doorways, and others simply felt it, a stirring in the air, as if the earth itself had awakened to a new heartbeat. I was among those who could not ignore that pull, that gentle tug woven through the wind, guiding my thoughts toward a single point of truth. There was no star to follow now, no chorus of angels filling the sky. Only the soft insistence within the soul that urged my feet forward, down narrow streets lit by scattered lamps and quiet windows heavy with sleep. The town seemed different that night, as though everything familiar had shifted slightly out of place. The wooden doors, the stone walls, the animals resting in their pens, all carried an unspoken expectancy, a hush that felt deeper than silence. My steps echoed softly as I moved past home, still warm from evening meals, and the air smelled faintly of dust, hay, and hope. A small group had gathered ahead, their faces lit by the soft glow of a single lantern swaying gently in the breeze. They whispered among themselves, their voices threaded with amazement, each recounting fragments of a story too beautiful to fully grasp. A child had been born, not just any child, but one whose arrival felt like dawn, breaking inside the human heart. And so I followed them, drawn not by obligation, but by the quiet certainty that something sacred waited at the end of this road. The path curved around worn stone walls and past sleeping animals, until we reached the place where light spilled softly across the ground. A stable humble and weathered, its wooden beams old but sturdy, as though it had been waiting for this very night. Inside, the lantern light glowed warm against rough boards and stacked bundles of straw. The scent of animals filled the air, earthy, real grounding. And there, at the center of it all, lay the child wrapped in cloth, resting where food for livestock once had been placed. He slept with the gentleness of a morning breeze, slipping across still water. Mary sat near him, her posture tired yet peaceful, eyes filled with the kind of love that seems to understand more than it can speak. Joseph stood watchful at her side, steady as a rooted tree, carrying the weight of quiet awe. They did not greet us with grandeur or ceremony, only with the warm humility of people who knew they were holding a mystery too large to name. We stepped inside slowly, as though afraid that even our breath might disturb the fragile beauty of the moment. The lantern flickered, casting patterns of golden shadow across the walls and the straw-laden floor. The air was warmer here, as if the child himself radiated a quiet heat that softened everything it touched. As I came closer, my heart felt unburdened in ways I couldn't explain. The weight of years, the dust of disappointment, the ache of unspoken fears, they loosened, unraveled, and drifted away under the gentle presence of that tiny life. I had seen many newborns, but none had carried this strange and steady stillness. though the very breath of heaven rested lightly upon him. No voices rose to break the silence, no grand proclamations were spoken. It was enough simply to stand there, letting the moment wrap around us like a warm cloak against the night. Each person seemed to hear their own quiet truth in that stillness. A hope long buried, a prayer long left unanswered, a longing finally given shape and breath. And in that dimly lit stable, among straw and shadows, I understood something I had never known, yet had always carried within me, that sometimes light does not arrive with blazing fire or thunder, but with steady softness, like a seed settling into the ground before it becomes a forest. We lingered long after our tears had dried, unwilling to leave the peace that hung so gently in the air. But eventually the night called us back to our homes, to our lives, to the world that waited outside. Still I knew we were not the same, none of us could be, not after standing in the quiet glow of a miracle. The fields were still trembling with the echo of what had happened, as the shepherds began their slow return to the hills where their flocks waited. The sky above them glowed faintly with the memory of celestial voices, yet the night had settled back into its familiar silence, the kind that feels ancient, woven into the very bones of the earth. Their lanterns swung softly as they walked the narrow paths, casting fragile circles of light over stones and scattered tufts of grass. The sheep bleated somewhere in the distance, restless but unharmed, as though they too sensed that the world had shifted under the weight of a promise kept. None of the shepherds spoke at first. It was as if words would cheapen what their eyes had witnessed, what their hearts were still cradling. Like a flame too delicate to name, they carried within them the shimmer of wings, the thunder of a message delivered from a realm beyond the reach of mortal breath. And there, tucked beneath their awe, was a quiet tenderness, the image of a child resting upon straw, wrapped in simple cloth, yet brighter than every star laid across the heavens. The terrain grew steeper as they climbed, the air thinning into sharp breaths that stung their lungs. But still they moved forward, driven by a strange, sweet urgency to return to the familiar places that suddenly felt unfamiliar. They wanted to tell the sky, the wind, the hills, the sheep grazing in the quiet pasture. Something magnificent had happened, something they had not dared hope for. At last they reached their flocks, watched the animals shifting lazily beneath the pale starlight. The shepherds checked each one, running hands over wool still cool from the night. And as they worked, their hearts hummed softly with the melody of the angel's song, a song they feared they might forget if they did not hold it close. Once the tasks were finished, they gathered around a small fire that crackled gently at their feet. The flames cast a warm glow upon their faces, revealing eyes still wide with disbelief, and the faintest trembling at the edges of their smiles. The silence finally broke, not with shouts or grand declarations, but with simple wonder. One shepherd spoke of the light that had poured from the sky like a river opening through the clouds. Another described the voice that had wrapped around them like a protective cloak. A third whispered of the peace that had settled into his bones. The moment he saw the child, a peace so deep he feared nothing could ever shake it loose. Their words were soft, measured, spoken from the stillness that lingers after a storm of glory. As they talked, their stories wove together into a tapestry of belief, not forced, not instructed, but born naturally from the certainty that they had witnessed the stirring of something eternal. The fire burned low, its embers glowing like tiny stars resting in the palm of the earth. The shepherds leaned back against the grass and stones, their bodies weary yet lighter than they'd ever felt above them. The sky stretched wide and silver, as if keeping watch just as faithfully as they had. They did not know what the future held, nor how the child they had seen would shape their lives, but they sensed that the world had opened in a new direction, a quiet turning toward mercy, toward hope, toward a light that did not flare briefly, but grew steadily like dawn, slowly pushing against the darkness. Long into the night they sat together, letting the memory of that stable rest softly between them. And when the first hint of sunrise whispered along the horizon, they rose with renewed purpose, ready to walk the hills as they always had, yet carrying in a truth that changed everything. For they had seen the fragile beginning of a promise unable to be extinguished, a promise wrapped in the breath of a child. And it glowed now in the quiet chambers of their hearts like a lantern that would never be dim.